A very good morning to all my dear students of class 9 of both the sections Jasmine and Rose. Once again, Arpita Banerjee Miss is here with you with the chapter The Happy Prince by Oscar Wilde from your textbook Moments. Students, in my previous class or in my first class, I have already told you about the writer of the chapter, that is Oscar Wilde. I have told you the summary of this chapter, The Happy Prince, as well as I have told you the theme of the chapter, the message conveyed through this chapter, and the significance of the title of this chapter. In today's class, I am supposed to explain to you the chapter line by line. So, I have thought of teaching you in today's class the first 3 pages of the chapter The Happy Prince from the book Moments. That is page numbers 28, 29 and 30. Before proceeding to my explanation, let me tell you one thing. Don't forget to put your attendance in the comment box, as because you people know that we the teachers are keeping a record of it. So you put your attendance in the comment box. Now you follow my explanation. Students, you look into page number 28, the very beginning of the chapter number 5, The Happy Prince. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue. He was covered with gold. He had sapphires for eyes and a ruby in his sword. Why did he want to part with all the gold that he had and his precious stones? What do these lines mean? This is a story about the statue of a happy prince and a little swallow. The Happy Prince was a beautiful statue, stood on a tall column high above the city. The statue was covered with thin leaves of gold. He had sapphires for his eyes and a ruby in his sword. Students, you look into page number 28. High above the city on a tall column stood the statue of the Happy Prince. He was glided all over with thin leaves of fine gold for eyes. He had 2 bright sapphires and a large red ruby glowed on his sword hilt. What does this paragraph mean? The statue of a prince stood on a high platform overlooking the city. This prince was called a happy prince because when he was alive, he always remained very happy. Upon his death, a big statue of his was erected in the center of the city in his remembrance. The statue of this happy prince was covered with thin layers of gold, and instead of eyeballs, there were 2 bright shining sapphire stones. In the handle of his sword, a bright ruby stone was placed. Look into the second paragraph of page number 28. One night there flew over the city a little swallow. His friends had gone away to Egypt 6 weeks before, but he had stayed behind. Then he decided to go to Egypt too. What do these lines mean? Here, swallow is a tiny bird. Although it is not a human being, still the writer is referring to it as he and his. He says that all the friends of this swallow had flown away to Egypt 6 weeks ago. This bird did not go with them, but later it thought of going to Egypt to his friends. So it was on its way to Egypt. Students, you look into the textbook of page number 28, the next paragraphs. All day long he flew, and at night time he arrived at the city. Where shall I put up? He said. I hope the town has made preparations. Then he saw the statue on the tall column. I will put up there, he cried. It is a fine position with plenty of fresh air. So he alighted just between the feet of the happy prince. What do these lines of page number 28 mean? This swallow bird kept on flying on its way to Egypt, and at night it reached the city of the happy prince. It wanted to stay somewhere for the night. It thinks upon where to stay at night. The bird says that hopefully the city has made some preparations for it to stay, or some arrangements for him to stay. Obviously, the bird does not mean what it is saying. We can say that probably the bird is being humorous here. Now, when this tiny bird saw this huge statue of the happy prince, it thought of staying there for the night. So, the bird thought that it was a good place to spend the night. There was a shelter and a lot of fresh air. So, the bird came and alighted. It stopped and sat in between the feet of the statue of the happy prince. Now, students, you look into page number 28, the last paragraph which continued in page number 29. I have a golden bedroom, he said softly to himself, and he looked round and he prepared to go to sleep. But just as he was putting his head under his wing, a large drop of water fell on him. What a curious thing, he cried. There is not a single cloud in the sky. The stars are quite clear and bright, and yet it is raining. Then another drop fell. What do these lines mean? When the bird sat in between the feet of the happy prince, it was surrounded with gold. So it thought that it had a bedroom made of gold because it was surrounded by gold all around. As it was about to sleep, as it was putting its head under the wing, suddenly a large drop of water fell on it. The bird was surprised because all of a sudden a drop of water fell on it. It thought that neither was it raining, nor the rainy season was going on. The swallow could not believe this because the sky was not cloudy and stars were shining. Just then, another drop of water fell on it. Look into page number 29 of the textbook, the paragraph that begins with, "What is the use of a statue if it cannot keep the rain off?" He said, "I must look for a good chimney pot," and he determined to fly away. But before he had opened his wings, a third drop fell, and he looked up and saw. What did he see? The eyes of the happy prince were filled with tears, and tears were running down his golden cheeks. His face was so beautiful in the moonlight that the little swallow was filled with pity. "Who are you?" he said. "I am the happy prince." "Why are you weeping then?" asked the swallow. "You have quite drenched me." What do these lines mean? The swallow thought that the statue was useless because it was not able to protect it from the rain. So he thought he should not sleep under the statue. The swallow thought that it was better if it took shelter in a chimney of a house, and thought to move away from there because the statue was not able to protect from the rain. Before the bird flew away, the third drop of water fell on him, and it looked up. What did he see? Let's find out. As soon as the bird looked up, he saw that the eyes of the happy prince's statue were filled with tears. These drops of water were the teardrops falling off the statue's golden cheeks. When Swallow looked at Happy Prince's face, it was looking beautiful in the moonlight. The little bird's heart was filled with pity for the weeping statue. It asked the statue that who it was. The statue replied that it was the happy prince. The swallow thought that the statue was of the happy prince, but it was crying. The bird asked the statue that why it was crying. It added that it had soaked it with its tears. Look into the textbook of page number 29 again. "When I was alive and had a human heart," answered the statue, I did not know what tears were, for I lived in the palace where sorrow is not allowed to enter. My courtiers called me the happy prince, and happy indeed I was. So I lived, and so I died. And now that I am dead, they have set me up here so high that I can see the ugliness and all the misery of my city. And though my heart is made of lead, yet I cannot choose but weep. What do these lines mean? The happy prince narrated his story to the swallow. The happy prince said that when he was alive and he had a human heart means the heart which beats is alive. At that time, he was not aware what tears were and what sorrow was, as he lived in a palace where there was happiness all around. All the people who used to work in his court used to call him Happy Prince because he used to be happy all the time and he had not seen sorrow at all. He said that he lived happily and died in happiness only. When he had a human heart, he never cried. He was not aware what tears were because he had seen happiness only and never faced any sorrow. Now he was dead. They had put him so high in the form of a statue on a pedestal that he could see the whole city and the ugliness of the city. He could see that there were so many people living in misery, lack of food, hunger, money, homelessness. Look into the textbook again, the second last para. What is he, not solid gold? Said the swallow to himself. He was too polite to make any personal remarks. Look into the last paragraph of page number 29. Far away, continued the statue in a low musical voice. Far away in a little street there is a poor house. One of the windows is open and through it I can see a woman seated at a table. Her face is thin and worn and she has coarse red hands all pricked by the needle, for she is a seamstress. She is embroidering flowers on a satin gown for the loveliest of the queen's maids of honor to wear at the next court ball. In a bed in the corner of the room, her little boy is lying ill. He has a fever and is asking his mother to give him oranges. His mother has nothing to give him but river water. So he is crying, "Swallow, swallow, little swallow, will you not bring her the ruby out of my sword hilt? My feet are fastened to this pedestal and I cannot move." What do these two paragraphs mean? When the happy prince was telling his sad story, the swallow was thinking about something else in his mind. The bird wondered that the statue of the prince was not made of solid gold. It was surprised. It thought that from outside the statue was covered with gold, but as it said that the heart was made of lead and not of gold, it realized that it was hollow and was not made of solid gold. It saw that the statue was very sad and was crying, so he did not make any personal remarks. It did not comment anything about the statue because it was giving the value to the statue's feelings. The statue continued its story. It spoke in a very musical voice that far away there was a house of a poor woman. The window of her house was open and it could see through the window that she was sitting near the table. Her face was thin and she was tired. Her hands were rough and had become red because they had been pricked by the needle. The woman was a seamstress. The woman was embroidering flowers on a gown of the queen's maid who would walk along with the queen during the court ball. The statue said that the lady who was embroidering the gown had a little child who was not well. He was suffering from fever and was asking his mom to give him oranges. His mother was very poor. She had no money. She could only give him water, that also river water, and that is why the little boy was crying. So the happy princess statue requested the swallow to take out the ruby stone from the handle of its sword and give it to the lady. It added that its feet were fastened to the platform because of which it could not move. Look into page number 30. I am waited for in Egypt, said the swallow. My friends are flying up and down the Nile and talking to the large lotus flowers. Soon they will go to sleep. What do these lines mean? The swallow replied that it had to go to Egypt. Its friends were waiting for it. The swallow said that its friends were in Egypt. They were flying near the Nile River and talking to the large lotus flowers which grew there. Soon they would go to sleep, and so it wanted to reach Egypt at the earliest. Look into page number 30. The prince asked the swallow to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. The boy is so thirsty and the mother so sad, he said. What do these lines mean? The statue requested the swallow to stay with him for one night. He asked him to be his messenger and work on his behalf. He said that the boy was very thirsty and his mother was very sad, so it should go and give the ruby stone to her. Look into page number 30 again. I don't think I like boys, answered the swallow. I want to go to Egypt. But the happy prince looked so sad that the little swallow was sorry. It is very cold here, he said, but he agreed to stay with him for one night and be his messenger. Thank you, little swallow, said the prince. What do these lines mean? Once again, the swallow opposed his request and said that it did not like boys, so why should it help that boy? Moreover, it had to go to Egypt. The happy prince was so sad that swallow felt sorry for him. It said that it was very cold there, but it would stay with him for one night and the next morning it would do his work. The happy prince thanked him. Look into the textbook of page number 30 again. The swallow picked out the great ruby from the prince's sword and flew away with it in his beak over the roofs of the town. He passed by the cathedral tower where the white marble angels were sculptured. He passed by the palace and heard the sound of dancing. So what do these lines mean? Finally, the swallow took out the ruby stone from the happy prince's sword, and the bird took the ruby in its beak and flew over the town. As this swallow was on its way to the poor woman's house, it passed the cathedral. What is cathedral? Cathedral is a church, and on the church's tower, white-colored marble angels were sculptured. Then he reached the palace. He crossed the palace and he could hear the sound of dancing from inside the palace. Look into the same paragraph of page number 30. A beautiful girl came out on the balcony with her lover. I hope my dress will be ready in time for the state ball, she said. I have ordered flowers to be embroidered on it, but the seamstresses are so lazy. What do these lines mean? When this swallow was crossing over the palace, a girl came out on the balcony along with her lover. She was hoping that the gown which she had given to the seamstress for embroidering would be ready on time. She was talking about the same gown on which that lady was doing embroidering, to whom the bird had to give the ruby stone. Students, you look into the last 3 paragraphs of page number 30. He passed over the river and saw the lanterns hanging on the masts of the ships. At last he came to the poor woman's house and looked in. The boy was tossing feverishly on his bed and the mother had fallen asleep. She was so tired. In he hopped and laid the great ruby on the table beside the woman's thimble. Then he flew gently round the bed, fanning the boy's forehead with his wings. How cool I feel, said the boy. I must be getting better, and he sank into a delicious slumber. Look into the next paragraph. Then the swallow flew back to the happy prince and told him what he had done. It is curious, he remarked, but I feel quite warm now, although it is so cold. And the last paragraph, or the second last paragraph of page number 30. That is because you have done a good action, said the prince. And the little swallow began to think and then fell asleep. Thinking always made him sleepy. What do these paragraphs mean. When the swallow flew over the river, ships also came along the way. Lanterns were hanging on their sails. Finally, the swallow reached the woman's house. The boy was suffering from fever, and for that reason he was not able to go to sleep. So he was turning left and right on his bed, and his mother was very tired due to working for long and had fallen asleep. The swallow put the ruby stone on the table near the thimble. After keeping the ruby stone on the table, the swallow went near the boy as his mother was sleeping and no one was taking care of him. It shook its wings near him, because of which the boy felt the cool air and felt better. The boy felt that he was getting better and went to sleep. With this, we can make out that the swallow was a kind-hearted bird. The swallow flew back and went to the statue of Happy Prince and told him what all he had done. Now the bird felt warm. It says that it was very strange that it was feeling little warm even though the weather was very cold. The prince said that it was feeling warm because it had done a good deed. It had helped someone. After listening to Happy Prince, the swallow started thinking, and when he started thinking, he felt sleepy because whenever he thought, he used to feel sleepy. So students, today I am concluding my class up till here, and in my next class I will be continuing my explanation of the next pages, line by line of this chapter, The Happy Prince. So for today, thank you students. Stay safe. Bye-bye.